Substitutions, high quality players coming onto the pitch, and we're probably pleased to get a draw in the end. Yeah, I mean, he's a really exciting talent, Louis, and I'm really pleased with how he did when he came on. It's a tough environment to come into for your first Premier League game, and yeah, as you say, he could have nicked it, and he's a very good finisher, so it wouldn't have surprised me to see that go in.
Away from the game, you said there was going to be transfer meetings this weekend. Have they taken place?
Yeah, we've had discussions last night. Yeah, those discussions did take place. I don't think it's ever outlined because I think there's so many variables to it, but certainly we know where we stand. I think when you sat in my shoes, it's never as big as you want it to be. I think financial fair play, as I always say, will impact what we do this summer. Certainly without Champions League football, it would have been very difficult for us to do much in the transfer market at all. So the fact we have that has given us a bit of a lift.
Just lastly for me, is that budget, is it big enough for what you want to do? Are you happy with it? You know, you said on Friday there's going to be a challenging summer.
I always say this. I think the most important people at the football club are the players we already have, and I'm the type of manager that will try and get the very best out of everybody here already under our employment. Then we're looking to add quality players. Now it's not just the transfer fees as such, it's the wages, and we're not huge payers of wages in the Premier League, so the big clubs will all dwarf us in terms of that, so that makes it hard to attract the very, very best players on the market.
Miles?
How important is that for Anthony Gordon going away for summer to have that goal?
Yeah, very important for him. I was really pleased today. So he obviously played a different role due to the injuries we had in that area of the pitch. I've brought him on in that position a few times in running, and I think he's done okay there, so I decided to trust him with that role from the start, and he didn't let me down. I thought he was really good. Had some really good moments in that first half, probably tired a little bit in the second, but overall really pleased that he scored. Hopefully that'll give him a big lift, as you say, going into next season.
So Maximin, also before the break, very good, created a lot of chances here. What future do you see him having next season, what can the longer season have?
Well, I think that'll be dictated by Maxi himself. I think he has, as you've seen today, so much ability. He's such a important player for us when he's at his very best, fitness-wise. He's unique. There's no one like him in the Premier League. You saw he's a huge transitional threat today. His end product was there. Really, really pleased. We just hope he comes back really fit and ready to do well in what's a massive season for him personally. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. Really pleased with Martin. He's shown again that he's a very, very capable goalkeeper, and he's been really unfortunate to be behind Nick this year.
Front row.
Would it be fair to say that your squad now, you're solid all over the pitch, and what you need is a little bit more make a difference?
I think it's a difficult one because I think we go into a lot of competitions next year, so we need the depth. Yeah, I think this year we've been light, certainly in certain areas of the pitch. I think we've carried the second half of the season four midfielders. So you're one injury away from a very difficult situation. So I think we need a little bit more depth. Certainly with 3 games in a week next year, we're going to be stretched.
Scott?
Just off the back of that, I guess, Eddie, I mean, you referenced the subs that Chelsea were able to make there. I mean, is that the difference between where Newcastle trying to aspire to, that you're going to be competing in the Champions League with teams that benches 11 internationals that they can change at the drop of a hat? You're not quite there yet, are you?
No, we're not there yet. I mean, you can see that today, but we are suffering from injuries at a stage of the season where...
Sorry. Shooting it up on the next one here, plank, sorry.
Yeah, so certainly that's a concern for us in the sense that we do need to bolster our resources, because we can't be sort of looking at 1 or 2 injuries and we're in a difficult position.
And when you talk about Lewis there, obviously come on and almost scored that goal. Where's he at in terms of where someone like, say, Elliott was at this stage last year? Because Elliott had that loan under him, was back. Does Lewis need that, do you think, next season?
Yeah, I think Elliott was probably a bit further on in his development, as you say, because of the loan, and that's what loans are for, the benefit of experience, playing games and building your robustness. I was pleased with Elliott again today. It was a tough physical game for him, so it'll do wonders for him next year. Louis, I'd say, is a bit behind that. He's just turned 17, so I don't want to place too much expectation on him. But he's someone we believe in. I certainly hope he's in and around it and training with us regularly next season.
Okay, front.
Yeah. So
apologies for that, by the way. It was an airplane mode that didn't work. Just a quick question. Newcastle have had a terrible record here in recent years. Is there a significance for you, the fact that you've come here today, taken the point and in fact took the lead?
Well, yeah, I don't think it goes without saying, we go into any game, Premier League game, you don't want to get beaten. So the fact that we couldn't win, we're really pleased to not lose the game. I thought we diced with luck a little bit towards the end. They did have some real chances, but our resilience was there for all to see, I think, even despite the fact that we were really stretched and maybe lacking the bench, that we could have maybe changed the game to win it in our way.
And maybe a sign of the direction your club is going, that you're coming to this ground now and more than holding your own.
We've done that all season. I think we've been hugely competitive. I don't think we've been an easy game for anybody. And the challenge for us next year is to maintain our standards and mentality, because when you come to these tough grounds, if you're not robust enough to deal with the challenge, these can be really difficult games.
Kieran?
It's been a long season, but even in the second half you were on the players and we
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
This season, obviously it's been a long season, but even in the second half in the league you're on the players to up the intensity. I suppose that sums up what's been at the heart of this.
Yeah, I think we were a little bit disappointed with the second half performance, to be honest. But I don't want to sit here and criticise the players for what they've given me this year. That's no way going to be my message to them. My message to them is thank you, really. Thank you for everything you've given. But while recognising next season is going to be even harder for us. So the players need to enjoy their break, but come back fit, ready and focused for what's an amazing season ahead.
This is the final day. What do you want the team to look like on the first day of the new season?
Well, firstly, as I said to Craig earlier, the players that we currently have to be fit and ready to go. And they have to be ready to prove how good we are all over again. We start at 0 next season. So I think that's a healthy way to look at it. We have to prove ourselves all over again. And then if we can add 1 or 2 players that make the difference in the transfer market, that would be good news.
Do you need to be reactive in the transfer market? I saw the Nick Pope deal last summer. Do you keep an eye maybe on players who go down today?
We'll have our eyes and ears hopefully all over everything, whether that's teams getting promoted, relegated, all over the world, because as I've said many times, the market's going to be difficult.
Jordan?
Aston on Friday about players out of contract. Have you managed to talk to them yet?
No, I've had no discussions going into this game with anybody, because the game took priority, so we made sure we prepared as well as we could.
Is there a few about there might be a few players out of bid asking for this?
I don't know. There's no one that immediately this springs to mind. That may be the case, because there's a lot of unknowns going into the market, as I said earlier.
Just finding much of you before the game, Joelinton got his first call up for Brazil. Just how pleased you've been, because I imagine it creates really stories.
Yeah, so I heard Bruno came over to me in the dressing room and say that Joe had been called up, and amazing news for someone who for 18 months has been incredible for me and the team. I felt he was a little bit unlucky not to go to the World Cup, because his performances have been that strong for us. But he's had to be patient. He's handled that disappointment really, really well. It was just normal Joe, went about his work in an incredible way, and I'm so pleased for him and his family. It's going to be a very proud moment. Well, fingers crossed, yeah. That the injury, I don't think he's fine now, but hopefully by the time the internationals come around, he'll be okay.
Okay, thanks everybody. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.